Should I hide assets during my divorce? Dustin McCrary, divorce attorney and founder of the law office of Dustin McCrary, discusses a commonly asked question: whether those who are going through a divorce should have a secret stash of assets during the divorce process. Hi, I'm Dustin McCrary. I'm glad you joined me today to talk about a question that frequently arises during the divorce process. That question is, should I keep a secret account or source of money that my spouse doesn't know about during the divorce? It's no secret that divorce is expensive, and it's no secret that life generally can be expensive, and it's a natural human tendency to worry. Many people feel better having some money saved in case of an emergency, and they often worry that a divorce, particularly a very emotionally difficult one, will cause financial stress in any number of ways. Some people worry that their spouse will restrict their access to jointly held funds, or that the divorce will put such a drain on the family's finances that they won't have any money left over. As a result, many wonder if they should put money aside in an account that their spouse is unaware of, or hide it under the mattress, so to speak. Should you do this? It's a tough question, and one for which there unfortunately isn't an easy answer. Let's talk about the pros and cons together for a few minutes. First, it's important to realize that from a legal perspective, it's fine to put money into a separate account. There's certainly no legal prohibition against doing so. If you do decide to create a separate account, however, it's always a wise decision to make a paper trail just to be clear about where the money came from, when you deposited it, exactly how much was deposited, and so on. This could become important later in the divorce process, so it's important to have clear records. Why is good record keeping important? For one reason, the source of the money might ultimately become an issue in your divorce. Typically, in North Carolina, courts try to equitably distribute property, which essentially means that they try to divide the property in a fair way. Part of making that determination is deciding whether or not the property is marital or separate property. Usually, property that's acquired by the parties during the marriage is considered marital property, although there are some exceptions to this rule. One exception to that rule is that sometimes, if property is given as a gift or an inheritance only to one specific spouse in the marriage, it may be considered separate property for legal purposes. Likewise, if it was property that one spouse earned or owned prior to the marriage, and which was never commingled with other marital funds. On the other hand, if the funds were earned by one or both parties during the marriage, they will likely be considered marital funds, and that'll be important to know too. A second concern about taking money out of certain accounts is that there may be tax penalties. Certain accounts like 401k, IRA, and other retirement accounts may have financial and tax penalties if you withdraw money early. In the long run, it may not be the wisest financial decision, and it may ultimately cause more difficulty for everyone involved. Another concern, beyond any legal ramifications that your decisions might have, is simply to consider the emotional effects that your decision might have. On the one hand, if your spouse discovers that you've been hiding a secret stash fund or a hidden asset that they were unaware of, this could diminish trust. That damaged trust could work against you as you try to negotiate with your soon-to-be ex-spouse on all the issues that are involved in a divorce. It's always wise to truly think if it's worth it now to have the extra cash, if it will cause damage to your progress on other important issues in the long run. On the other hand, it's not unheard of in a divorce for one spouse to try to cut off the other's access to funds in order to attempt to force that spouse to do what they want with respect to certain issues. Even if you think your spouse would never do something like this, it's always also important to be realistic and to understand that sometimes divorce does cause people to act uncharacteristically. If you're worried at all that your spouse may try this tactic, having your own source of funds will not only give you peace of mind, it will also ensure that you still feel that you have negotiating power when it comes to the things that matter most to you in your divorce. In the end, the truth is that divorce isn't easy, and that sometimes there are questions that don't have easy, simple answers. This is one of them. Ultimately, you know your spouse and your own personal situation best. Regardless of what you choose, one choice you should always make as you go through the divorce process is to seek knowledgeable and experienced legal counsel who can help you through difficult issues like these and many others. Divorce and handling difficult matters like these is my specialty. It's what I do. I'm here for you anytime, and I'd welcome the opportunity to learn how I can help you soon.